What else can I do to make your day more comfortable? Coffee, orange juice, biscuits.
You've done it all, Rosie. What makes you so terrific anyway?
It's my lifestyle, Mr. J. I'm programmed to be user-friendly. Well,
Remember Rosie the robot on the Jetsons? Well, she offered an entertaining view of the space age, but some of the biggest names in technology, like Amazon's Jeff Bezos and PayPal co-founder Peter Thiel, are donating millions to explore something that also seems out of this world, the possibility of eternal life.
Yep, the search for the science and tools to keep our lives going inspired Stanley Bing's new novel. It's called Immortal Life, a soon-to-be true story. Think about that for a second. Imagines a future where humans evolved in digital form. Stanley Bing, by the way, is the pen name of Gayle Schwartz. Gayle is the Senior Executive Vice President and Chief Communications Officer for the CBS Corporation. Immortal Life is published by Simon & Schuster, which is a division of CBS. But for the purpose of this interview, we're going to call you Stanley. And you may call me Beyonce.
Okay, absolutely.
Let's keep it really real. Okay, so Stanley, this is the thing. When I read this book, I don't know if your intention was to scare us or to make us think, because it involves body transplants and brain transplants, and this is a big departure for you. Why was this subject so fascinating to you?
Well, first of all, it involves people who have a lot of money and they're in business and they have never failed at anything, these Silicon Valley types, and they are looking into the possibility of essentially copying your brain. If you think of the brain as a computer, you can back up your brain. You put it in a storage unit, and then if you can create a new housing for it, then you've got a new body. And this could be done infinitely.
What fascinates you about that?
I'm not as young as I used to be, and I would like to live forever. And I think a lot of people, when they get to the age, you could be 40 and suddenly you realize, wow, you know what? It would be really nice to line extend my life and be around in 100 years.
Right. The idea being that your personal device could be implanted into your brain, and that you could live immortally once the body essentially dies.
Well, what you do, your old body may die, but you probably can create a new one, right? I mean, right now,
because all of your knowledge would be in this, which can be transplanted.
And at least it can be sent. It can be sent up to the cloud. The cloud can hold it, and then it can come down, and then the question is, how do you get the new body? And we're right now printing, organs. Kidneys are being printed. They're not working yet. But if you move the world 20 years, 25 years into the future, it's easy to see how you might be able to create life by printing it. And then you have a new body, and I think, I'm feeling pretty good, but if somebody offered me a brand new body right off the assembly
at one point
line,
there was a printer of a 3D penis. I'm thinking, what is he trying to say here?
Well, it's certainly an organ.
Homina, homina, homina.
That's the question I was going to ask.
This is a morning program.
It is.
Not the 3D penis.
But the mogul who does print that does appreciate the ability to do so.
A follow on that. I mean, one reviewer of this book did call it an optimistic nightmare, and another called it a dystopian satire.
Yeah, I know. That's both of them I'll accept, And, well, I like the fact that it's scary. I mean, I think some of the best. Some of the best entertainments that we have, especially ones thinking about, how the world is going, it should be a little scary. And what you're talking about is transplanting a consciousness from one person into a body that has its own consciousness. I mean, our hero, Gene, he's not very bright, and his brain was newly created. Gene wants to live, and here comes this massive consciousness of this 127-year-old mogul pouring into his head. And that's uncomfortable. So that should be scary. And I think, by the way, you don't have to be in the future to be scared about the world.
I agree.
You dedicate this book to the tech titans, right, of the world. You have Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Larry Ellison. I think about Google now approaching its 20th year. Their mantra, do no evil. And we're now at this point of technology, whether it's intentional or not, becoming involved in some really questionable activities with regards to elections, what have you, social media. What role do you see technology having in the future? Is it more of a positive thing, or, as you said, parts of it are scary in this book?
Well, I think the problem with technology is not in itself. I mean, they do a lot of good things. The problems happen when people do tech because they can. In other words, they made bombs because it was so interesting to figure out how do you do that. Nuclear power plants, you know, wow, we could do that. Let's try to do that. Now the tech guys are doing a lot of stuff, like for me, self-driving cars. They'll be able to do it.
Do you want one?
Want it?
Do you?
I don't want one. I really like a big car with horsepower. And my feeling about self-driving cars is no one will be able to drive their car. It has to be everybody in line, all going. And you know what you'll be doing in that self-driven car?
What?
You'll be connecting with the cloud through your implanted tech.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just like not creating human beings.
Gil, Stanley, you take us on such a fantastical ride because you said he's 127 years old. A young person in the book is 60, which I like very much.
I do too.
And that his empire is $63 trillion. Where did you get the $10,000 bathrobe? Where did you get these figures from?
Well, I live in New York a lot of the time, and you know, you go to have breakfast and it's $40.
63 trillion.
It used to be $1.99.
Four times the U.S. GDP, 63 trillion. I like that women are heroes in this book, too.
Oh, yes, they are.
Yes,
absolutely. They saved the planet.
Stanley Bing, thank you.
They save a lot of
table.
Thank you so much.
Immortal Life is on sale today.